If your family tree howls at the moon, it's already too late. They say the dead don't speak, but mine have always whispered. Even now, I hear them in the bones of the old house, in the groan of the attic floorboards, in the hiss of wind that curls like breath beneath the doorframe. A voice here, a breath there, low. Cracked murmurs, always just out of reach, just out of understanding. But never gone. The first time I heard the howl, I was 9. Not the kind of howl you hear on Halloween CDs or nature documentaries. No, this was something else. Something ancient. It wasn't just sound, it was recognition, like something buried. Deep in my marrow suddenly stirred, stretched, and smiled. My mother turned pale that night, she told me. In a whisper meant for ghosts, you've heard it too. That's when the rules began. Don't go outside after sunset. Don't answer to your name if you hear it whispered from the woods. Don't touch the old lockbox in the crawl space. And no, mirrors in the house not since what happened to Uncle Martin, the lockbox though. That thing called to me. Inside were family photos that had no business existing. Faces half-shifted, yellow eyes where there should have been smiles. One photograph showed a man who looked exactly like me's same birthmark on the cheekbone. Same lazy left eye, but the date on the back read 1873. And below that, a scrap of old paper, brittle as ash, that simply said, "Blood is memory, flesh is fate. The howl never ends." I began digging, and like any cursed story, the more I learned, the more I wished I hadn't. My family tree wasn't a tree, it was a noose. No one lived past 45, no one died clean, and no one, not a single one, escaped the sound of the howl. There were patterns, every generation had one, the sleeper, the one who bore the curse. It skipped no one, it merely waited. My great-grandmother locked herself in the basement for 2 decades. My grandfather burned every photo of himself. My cousin was institutionalized after he ate the family dog Enley. There was no dog, just bones that didn't match anything they'd ever seen. We tell ourselves stories to make sense of nightmares. Say werewolf and imagine full moons in silver. Bullets? But what if it's not so clean? What if it's inherited? What if it's baked into your DNA like a ticking bomb of teeth and hunger? Not everyone turns under the moon. Some of us shift in sleep. Some of us never return from it. Some never quite become human again after the first time. Last year, I found a journal from 1894. The entries were scattered, frantic, but one page was circled over and over until the paper nearly tore. It read, "It doesn't start with a bite. It starts with a scream, one that echoes through the blood, and once you've heard it, you can't unhear the howl inside you. I've begun hearing it again. It's not from outside, from inside. It hums in my chest like a second heart. It tugs at my jaw when I'm angry. It stretches behind my ribs when I sleep. Some nights, I wake up barefoot on the front lawn. Dirt under my fingernails, blood on my teeth. Always alone, always confused, but never afraid, because I know the truth now. The curse isn't hunting me. It is me. This isn't just folklore. It's a genetic haunting, a hereditary horror that doesn't die. It waits, and then it chooses. It always chooses. Tonight I open the crawl space again. The lockbox is gone, but I don't need it anymore. I've seen what I needed to see. The mirrors are gone because they don't reflect the truth. Only the howl does that. And it's whispering again, "You're next." If your blood howls louder each year, you're not broken, you're blooming. Tell us in the comments, have you ever felt the shift before the scream? They say every curse has a seed, ours. It was watered with blood and fed to the roots of our name. The first record I found that mentioned the howl was dated 1651. A village burned, livestock slaughtered, women weeping with hair torn out by the roots. And in the center of it, all one name scratched into the confession of a dying priest. Elias Carr. He wears the wolf skin like a second soul. He was my ancestor, the first. Not the first werewolf. Oh no, the first traitor. The story is fragmented, lost to time, eaten by fire, or deliberately erased. But what I've pieced together is this. Elias wasn't a monster. Not at first. He was a hunter, a soldier, a man of the cloth and the blade. He served during the Black Winter, a time when wolves weren't just feared, they were worshipped in secret by starving villagers, who would offer their dead to the forest. Rather than bury them, Elias was sent to purge the cults. And purge he didn't till one night. He came back changed, not wounded, different, quiet, eyes like frostbitten gold, hands that trembled under full moons. He never told anyone what happened in that forest, but 9 months later, his wife gave birth to a child with eyes already open and teeth. They say the midwife fled screaming. There's a letter buried in an abbey-sealed archive. Covered during restoration, it's old, crumbling, but legible. Priest begging for excommunication. The child bit its own father, and the father did not bleed. He smiled. That was the moment the bloodline broke open. Elias had made a pact, whether it was to survive that winter, or to end the hunger of his village, or to serve some darker god of fangs and fur. We don't! No, but one phrase recurs across every surviving document. He bound the beast to the blood. It didn't spread like an infection. It wasn't viral. It was generational. A single line of people cursed to become something else. Something other. Some called it a gift. Others called it damnation. But no one ever stopped it. Not even Elias himself. And the curse didn't remain in the open, the line learned. To hide, to blend, to marry, to reproduce, to smile with human teeth and dream with lupin eyes, each child a coin toss, each howl a reminder. There's a grim ledger carved into stone in a crumbling family crypt in Europe one I found only because my blood led me there. Literally, my nose bled the moment I stepped onto the soil. The ledger is split in two, tamed and lost. No names, just numbers. 13 tamed, 47 lost. I asked the groundskeeper what it meant. He just said, tamed means they died human. Some accounts whisper that the curse isn't random, that it chooses who will carry it based on what's needed. If the family's in danger, it wakes. If the bloodline is stagnant, it howls. One tale speaks of a woman named Lysa who made it to age 44 without a single symptom. A scholar, a gentle soul. Until her sister was murdered by hunters trying to end the line. That night, Lysa didn't scream. She didn't even cry. She just walked into the woods barefoot and didn't come back until dawn, covered in blood that wasn't. Her journal ends with a single sentence. I spoke the name of the first, and he answered, so what was the curse? A punishment for making a deal with something unnatural? A reward twisted into madness over time? Or a curse passed from God to man for betraying the balance? I don't know, but I do know this. The original pact was made with intention. Elias asked for power, and he got it. But the cost wasn't his. It was ours. Every child born into the bloodline is a payment, a howl in waiting, and here I am, the latest due, another scream. Gestating some nights. I think I can hear him, not just the beast, Elias, whispering beneath my skin, watching through my eyes, waiting because he wasn't just the first. He is the curse, and I am the echo. Was your curse's beginning? Comment below. If your bloodline began with betrayal, would you want to know? Or would you rather stay blissfully human? They always say history repeats itself. But in my family, it reincarnates. Every generation is different, but the curse. It's patient, it adapts, evolves, waits for moments of weakness, of rage, of inheritance. It's not just one curse. It's a predator passed down like a family recipe. Refined with time, sharpened with every soul it swallows, in every few decades. It chooses someone new, someone unsuspecting, someone who thinks the past is just myth. That's how it got to me. My great-uncle Lucas was born in 1922, a jazz pianist. Hands like silk, they said. He could make even the angriest man weep with a single note. Until one night, he stopped playing mid-set, just froze, head tilted, eyes unfocused. He walked off the stage and never came back. They found him days later, curled in a church confessional, naked, blood caked to his jaw, dozens of claw marks. On the inside of the booth, his hands were shattered. My cousin Viola was born in 1975. She was adopted at birth. Her parents wanted to sever the bloodline, change the name, burn the records. New life, new family, no past. She still woke up one night in her teens with bite marks on her arms and dirt under her nails. Her foster brother went missing the same week. No charges were ever filed. But her parents never spoke to her again. She died in a hospital at 26, the official cause. Clinical lycanthropy. The doctors laughed at the diagnosis. The orderlies refused to work her floor. They claimed she would hum under the full moon. Her bones shifted when she screamed in her sleep. Every time we tried to break it every way. Exorcism. Every ritual, every line of salt or sigil of protections, something goes wrong. My father tried to drown it out, moved us to the middle of nowhere, kept no photos, burned every document. Banned religion and folklore from the house didn't matter. One night he stood by the fireplace, staring into the embers, and said, "I think it's going to be your turn next." Then he walked into the woods. We never found his body. There's a box I keep now, not like the one in the crawl space. This one's newer. Steel lockbox with family records, letters, autopsy reports, journals, drawings. Some of the entries repeat phrases almost word for word, even though they were written decades apart. I felt the fur beneath my skin. I woke up with blood between my teeth. I saw something in the mirror, and it blinked after I did. That's the thing. The curse doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need a dramatic transformation or a cinematic full moon. It just waits. It watches, and then it acts. I started blacking out last winter. Small things. At first, waking up with muddy feet, shirts shredded, a new scar down my rib cage I don't remember earning. My girlfriend said I would mutter in my sleep, not words, growls. She recorded it once. It didn't sound like me. It didn't sound human some nights. I stare at my family tree and wonder how many werewolves it takes before you stop calling it a coincidence and start calling it a bloodline. Because here's the truth. It doesn't skip generations. It skips the ones who resist the hardest. And it always comes back for them later, even the calmest among us. We all cracked eventually. We all became haunted by it, whether through guilt, madness, or transformation. It claimed us, one by one. But I've noticed something even more terrifying. The howls are getting closer together. The gaps between transformations are shortening. The line is thinning. But the curse is growing stronger. I'm not sure I'm just the next. I think I might be the last. And I think that's exactly what it wants. If your dreams started sinking with your ancestors, if their screams became your lullabies, would you still believe it's just a coincidence? Comment if you've ever felt like your family history is watching you. People think when you're cursed, you either break it or you die trying. But no one talks about the ones who live with it, desperate, haunted, scraping together rituals like their patchwork prayers stitched with panic. Let me tell you something. No one in my family ever broke the curse. But plenty tried, and every single one of them failed in a way that made the curse stronger, smarter, hungrier. Aunt Miriam lived in a salt circle for 14 years, never left her house, never opened a window. She followed lunar charts like holy scripture and shaved her body bald to expose the beast. She made it to 53 longest in the family, but she didn't die in that house. She vanished one day. Her neighbors reported the front door swinging open at dawn, everything inside untouched, no struggle, no blood, no broken windows. Just a single claw mark on the ceiling beam 8 feet high, and a message carved into the floorboards. You cannot trap what is born to hunt. Then there was the Mirror Pact, a lesser-known rite pulled from a rotting grimoire one of my ancestors found buried beneath an old sanatorium in Bavaria. The idea was this: if the curse is born in the reflection of the soul, then trap it in a mirror, seal the mirror, and bury it in sacred ground. My cousin Malcolm tried it in 1999. He covered every mirror in his apartment in black velvet. One by one, he stared into them, whispered a name liaison, chanted the binding rite. That night, neighbors reported hearing two voices arguing inside the apartment. One sounded like Malcolm, the other didn't. When police broke in, they found Malcolm's body inside the bathroom mirror. Inside it, his real body is never found. Others went less mystical. My half-brother Silas took the practical approach. He got gene therapy, blood purification, even something called lunar dampening therapy, whatever the hell that is. He built a Faraday cage in his basement and slept in it like a prison cell every full moon. He live-streamed it once, just once, halfway through the night. The feed glitched, and when it came back, Silas was gone. The inside of the cage was torn apart, bent steel and shredded padding, but the door was still locked from the outside. I tried my own escape once. I moved to the desert flat, empty, no forest to hide in, no place for the howl to echo. I changed my name. Stopped speaking to anyone with my blood. I burned every family photo I could find. It worked for a while, but then the coyote packs started behaving strange. Then came the night terrors, the feeling of fur growing in my throat, the twitching in my jaw when I saw roadkill. And then I woke up one morning with a silver chain in my hand. I don't own a silver chain, but someone or something had looped it 3 times around my wrist. like a reminder, like a threat. Every act of resistance becomes part of the curse's story. It learns you. You fight it with faith. It mocks God. You fight it with science. It rewrites your blood. You try to run, and it waits at the place you'll end up howling patiently, because that's the truth of it. You don't run from the curse. You run toward it without knowing. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. But when it's your blood, that's insane. What then? I've started to notice a new feeling lately. Not dread, not fear, permission. Like the curse has finally stopped hiding. Like it's telling me, we've done the dance, we've sung the rites, you've tried everything. Now be what you were born to be. I don't know if I'll resist this time. I don't know if I can. What if fighting the curse only makes it stronger? If you knew your destiny was to transform, would you fight it, or would you finally give in? Let me know in the comments below, because I think I've stopped running. There's a sound I can't unhear. It's not a scream, not quite. It's not the call of a wolf either. It's the middle note between agony and acceptance. It's the sound your soul makes the moment you realize you were never meant to survive only to continue. That's what the curse is. Not a punishment, a mandate. I used to think I had a choice, that if I learned enough, ran far enough, lit the right candles, or spoke the right incantations, I could find the root and sever it, end the line, burn the howl out of the marrow. But blood doesn't negotiate, and legacy doesn't ask permission. I went back to the old house last week. It's the one where my mother heard the howl first, the one with the attic that groans with secrets. I found something I'd never seen before. A trapdoor beneath the cellar. Inside, bones, dozens of them, some human, some not, all claw-marked, and painted on the wall in ash and old blood. The last one must become the first. That's when I realized this curse isn't just about survival, it's replication. Each generation not only feeds the myth, it refreshes it, rewrites it, refines it. I'm not the end. I'm the reboot, the new origin. The unending howl isn't a warning. It's a summons. So what happens now? I no longer black out. I remember everything, every shift, every scream, every hunt. I remember the taste of fur and fear. I remember digging into bark with clawed hands under a bleeding moon, and most terrifying of all, I remember enjoying it. You hear people say, this runs in the family. They mean heart disease. It's alcoholism, trauma. But what if what really runs in your family isn't weakness? It's the opposite. What if the curse is evolution disguised as damnation? They don't call to me anymore, my ancestors. They listen. They wait, because now I am howling, and you can't break what was never meant to be broken. It doesn't end with a scream. It ends with a growl under your breath. In a mirror you finally stop avoiding. As your eyes glow with something older than language, you don't run anymore. You walk into the woods, and they part for you, because the curse doesn't just survive, it thrives in the howl. The howl never ends. It only begins again. If the howl called your name, would you answer, or would you deny your blood? Share your story in the comments, because this isn't just mine. It could be yours. Asterisk, asterisk, and for those who hunger for more, ... Step deeper into the shadows with our ultimate werewolf horror playlist linked in the description below. In the world of horror, the scariest things happen when you least expect them. And trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark. Welcome to the darkness.